Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. How's everybody doing tonight?
Freezing.
Well, how about, well, yeah, me too, don't worry about it. But how about we play a little game? I want you all to try and guess who I am, but I'm only taking answers at the end of my speech. I'm sorry. Anyway, so I was born just a few miles away from here in Fowler, Colorado on October 11th, 1906. I would later come to be the first All-American to come out of Colorado College, and then go and play for the Portsmouth Spartans. Anybody here know who they are? They're going to sound real familiar here in a second. Well, after 2 seasons, I decided I wanted to retire. I then went to be a coach at the School of Mines, which back in those days was tiny. But now from what I hear, it's become to be a good school. Well, I would later on come to play for the team that bought out my Spartans. This team's known as the Detroit Lions. Now it sounds familiar, doesn't it? Well, I would play there, eventually be moved to quarterback, be the linchpin and why they won their championship. Played there for 7 seasons, played in the NFL for 7 seasons altogether, 6 All-Pro, 3-time league scoring champion. And when the NFL came up with their Hall of Fame, I was one of the first 17 members to get inducted. With good reason too, for the fact that my rushing yard record stood for 36 consecutive seasons. And was only beaten because the Miami Dolphins. Well, during my last season, I decided to be both sides of the ball. I decided to be a coach and a player, earning a salary high of $7,200, which nowadays is small peanuts, but back then that was big money. Well, after that, I went to go coach for the Cleveland Rams for 4 seasons, and then I finished off everything at the Detroit University. I even went to go serve my country in World War II. And you know, all this talking's got me thinking about something that my coach once said. Oh, what? You guys thought because we didn't have pads in these things, we just didn't keep anything in them? Anyway, he once wrote, "He's like a rabbit in the bush. He has no set plan, no defined direction. He is an instinctive runner who cuts, pivots, slants, and reverses. No back follows interference, which nowadays interference is known as blocking. And when interference gets into the secondary, linebackers, that's when he begins to start his mad twists and turns. He is, maybe I am. He is by far one of the best backs that I've ever seen. And you know, all that makes me feel pretty proud. The fact of the matter is, I never bested 100 meter. I never bested 10 seconds in the 100-meter dash. I never bulked up, as you can see, to run people over. And on top of all that, I was never that terrific of a passer. I'm blind in one eye, but somehow the ball always seemed to reach its target. And you know, that's what really matters. So I guess I did okay. I was hands down the best football player to come out of Pueblo, Colorado. So I'm sure some of you know who I am, but for the other ones, here's a big hint. I hear they got a stadium named after me here. Just over the river behind that building. Yields 14,000 1,000 spectators in his home to every single one of the schools, including my own home school. Ladies and gentlemen, Dutch Clark at your service.